Hello and welcome back to another match from the Sakura Spring Championship. This time a round 2 match between Mishelka and Soarve, um, who I do believe featured on my channel before in the last big tournament I hosted. And if I do remember correctly, though I didn't look it up before, I think that Soarve won in that match. But yeah, I'm not 100% on that, but it's definitely an interesting and I think probably quite even matchup. And we are watching this here from Mishelka's perspective in the black-purple banners, and Soarve has a almost a unicolor purple one. And this map was picked by Mishelka, which is Hida Mountains, with a farmhouse on the left, shrine in the center, and the workshop on the right. And build-wise, this is quite clearly a melee rush with 4 no-dachi units, all of them highly vetted on rank 6, which is quite interesting. Um, as well as a 5th sword unit, a katana sam with banzai, so on rank 9. And yeah, spear-wise, he just has a couple of attendants. A Nagi Warrior Monk, rank 6 on the right, supporting the Katana Sam, and another, a 6th sword unit, a Lone Sword, rank 9 on Banzai. And Cav-wise, this is very light. I just see 2 Great Guards. Also interesting choice, both on rank 2. If there's more, then it's hidden and I can't see it yet, but yeah, so far only those 2 heavy Cavs. His general is a melee gen. Um, uh, However, without the plus 10 melee attack retainer, so it's only on 26. And I'm just gonna have to pause it here. For Soarve, we do see a traditional leadership gen, so same melee stats attack-wise as the melee gen, but with fewer men. So 30 models in his bodyguard versus 36. Fire Cav rank 6 and Light Cav on the left, as well as Yari Cav rank 6 and a Light Cav. And on the right side, again, Light Cav, Yari Cav mix with rank 6 Yari Cavs. So I think he always does this, pairing up a heavy Cav with a light Cav, probably working in group formations or something. So 6 Cav in total, quite decent. And his core consists of, oh, this is interesting. I didn't expect that. He has a bow warrior monk, rank 5 on 200 range. And a Matchlock Ash unvetted as a second skirmisher. And then his main infantry core contingent consists of Naginata Sam with Banzai. So he has a Spear Clan special ability, 2 of these with no Duchy rank 2, of which he has 2 as well. And I mean, 2 more vanilla Yari Ash, couple attendants, but that's basically it. So he has 4 yeah, decent melee units in Nodachis and Nagisams, which of course doesn't even come close to standing a chance against the infantry corps of Mishelka, which it doesn't have to, because I think the strengths and weaknesses are quite clear in this matchup. Soarve has to make his cavalry count, and he has to somehow make this bow work, which I'm not sure how he's going to do it. It's not a unit you see often on this map, because I think it's a bit too open, a bit too accessible for cavalry. But again, he doesn't face off. I mean, he only is up against two Great Guards. There's not a lot of Cav threat. So it's going to be interesting how he's going to use it against the infantry corps, how he's going to maximize the damage. Yeah, but having said that, I'm just going to get this going again. Somewhat a different walking direction here. Soarve focusing more on the left side, which would enable him to play a bit more time and back up into this hill if he wants to delay the engagement, possibly give his bow warrior monks a bit more time to fire. And Mishelka opting to go through the center here. Possibly just as a reaction to this very strong Cav contingent on Soarve's left, which he doesn't want to engage here. Yeah, he's already pulling back his right flank. Could be used for an hammer and anvil later on, but this would be too premature to attack with this flank. In the center, just melee gen, which has, of course, no penalty against spears. Cleaning up some Nagi attendants, always nice. It's very rare for the gen to lose men here. So this is a free Nagi attendant routed off. And then Great Guard against Yarikav rank 6 with Light Cav. So I think the Light Cav absorbed the charge from the Great Guard. And with the Yarikav backing, this is usually an engagement that I think is better for Soarve in this case. But now, of course, there's a melee gen in the back, which turns this around completely, and this will not be worth it. I think this is a waste of cavalry, 2 cavalry units. These types of like solo engagements on distant corners of the map is always something that favors the leadership general. And if you have a leadership, the melee general, if you have a leadership gen, you don't want to get into these types of engagements, because whenever the leadership gen comes into support, you're fucked basically. And now he's lost. Let's see where the Great Guard has gone. Is it rotted off as well? I mean, he exchanged 2 calves for a Great Guard, but it was an expensive calf, and I don't think it was worth it, to be honest. Especially since calf is supposed to be his big advantage here, and him giving away 2 units. This Great Guard is even still alive at 20 men. Was definitely, I think, the wrong move here. But yeah, at least his bow warrior monks got to firing. 20 men down from the no-duchies. This is very nice, but I have to go to slow motion again. I'm sorry. Whenever I see these builds, I know it's going to be a very quick battle. Not a lot of time to skirmish. But yeah, this is all about how to block this ongoing rush from Mishelka, and I'm not sure how Soarve plans to do it, because these, I mean, he has a rank 0 Yari-Ash here, which even in spear wall and engaged frontally will only hold for, I mean, if he's lucky, like 20-30 seconds. Now they're routing already. Here we have Nagisams frontally against rank 6 no duchy. I mean, it's a Banzai Nagisam, and Banzai is already activated here, but it's not going to be cost efficient for him. The no duchies are going to do very well. And here we also have a miss micro. Matchlocks did get themselves caught. Now he's putting them back, baiting them into the spear wall. This is actually a nice move. But again, it's only a vanilla Yari-Ash, and the more messy this gets, and it's really hard to commentate this on what's happening because it's just a clusterfuck of banners, the more difficult it is for Soarve to really make a dent here and make a difference. Because now this, the more chaotic this gets, the more it comes down to pure melee stats, where Soarve doesn't have or doesn't stand a chance really. I don't know what's happening here. Is that Great Guard charging in the back of Nagisams? Maybe he even got a bit of the matchlocks, but yeah, Nagisams tend to be quite tough, especially even when charged in the back. But one thing that I definitely notice here is the lack of stand and fight for the general of Soarve. He needs to get into stand and fight. It's the big advantage with his leadership gen. Now he's doing it, yes, but like a minute earlier, and it would make a huge difference stats-wise. Because now he's in a race against time. You have these 2 units from Mishelka coming in the back, and Soarve really needs to kill off the other side before he can even hope to react here. And also during the whole time I just spoke, all this calf from Soarve was stuck in a huge melee blob, where among other things Naginata attendants were mixed in, and I think I said it before in a couple videos. Cavalry units are not meant for prolonged fights. You get them in, get a charge bonus, maybe cause some units to rout, get a good morale effect, and then you need to pull them out again and use them somewhere else. Keep the enemy on your toes, on his toes, and I think given that this is the big comparative advantage of Soarve, meaning the calf, they didn't really affect the game so far. We didn't see any big flanking movements. We didn't see him using any gaps to go through. We didn't see the Cav try to pick or try to bully strategic units and then get out of them again before he gets caught. None of that. It was just like the Cav was basically used like infantry, just engaged in the main line of combat. And yeah, I don't think it's going to be very efficient here. Matchlock Ash caught by Lone Swords, and Yari Ash defending against Nagi Warrior Monks. No chance here for Soarve. Although you have to say, sorry, I'm getting confused with the banners. Mishelka has to keep in mind or think about saving these great guards. I mean, yes, he is charging in the back of the Avatar here, but there's still 2 more Cav units of Soarve and a Bow Warrior Monk he needs to finish off. And I think at this point it could be useful to be a bit more careful with his Great Guard and save it for the late game. These Bow Monks on 63 kills. Didn't pay attention to what they were firing at, probably just into this blob. So I would guess that in addition to their kill count, they also did quite a few team kills, which is what always happens when you fire into these messy engagements. And I think Soarve is going to lose his general here, but Mishelka is also going to lose his Great Guard. And then it's really going to come down to the late game and whether Soarve is going to be able to save these bows. I'm just going to go to regular speed. Oh, actually, no, Soarve did not get the workshop here. Oh, and Mishelka does have the shrine. This is a huge bonus. +3 morale for Mishelka's whole army. And let's see, does Soarve have any melee units? He has a 106-man Naginata Sam with Banzai. They're gonna be able to hold off these 4 units, but they're not gonna be able to win. They're just gonna get them stuck and survive for a bit. And here, Nodachi, this is quite even actually. And here it's basically only his Gen and his Cav engaged with 87-man Nodachi. And yeah, and I think even the melee Gen of Mishelka is still quite a threat here. 15 men. It's going to be hard to target it, especially from this up close. But I think maybe he should get firing or get his Bow Warrior Monks to fire at the Gen. He just needs to get all horses off the field if he wants to have a chance here. This is the Great Guard now routing off, as well as Soarve's Cav. He has 1 more Fire Cav, 30 men in the blob, and they need to be pulled out. They're in this fight for way too long, because now they need to get rid of this melee Gen, which is probably going to charge these Bow Warrior Monks in any minute. And I think this is a very late reaction from Soarve. The Fire Cav wouldn't even beat the melee Gen in a head-to-head, but it could have saved his Bow Warrior Monks, I think. And yeah, I think this is quite clear that this is going in Mishelka's direction now. But I think with a somewhat smarter Cav play, he could have exploited the big weakness in Mishelka's build a lot more. And this could have easily been a late game where all these melee units, these Nagi Monks and Katana Sams are chasing a Bow Warrior Monk, which is quite fast and fatigue resistant. So yeah, with some slight tweaks to the approach, I think this could have been in Soarve's favor. But also, I think good decision from Mishelka to force the engagement right on in the center and get in with his right flanking force with the Nagi Monk and the Katana Sam. A bit delayed. I think that was a good move. There was a real risk that he would have gone too early and exposed himself to Soarve's Cav. And yeah, this way I think really was the right choice. Mishelka's general with the most kills, I think, but I think lots of these are just from the attendant unit. And yeah, I mean, it's his infantry corps that wrecked the most kills, unsurprisingly. Um, Soarve's Nagisam's doing surprisingly well, I think. I'm not sure if maybe he had Renio's teaching as a retainer to boost them a little bit. Wouldn't surprise me. These these Yari Ashigaru might as well have been attendants. I mean, they were quite useless on rank 0. Even in Spear Wall, they don't hold all these highly vetted sword units for that long. Interesting match, quite close, I think. And yeah, I'm looking forward to game 2. I'll just make a cut here and jump straight in. And we're back in game 2 on Crossroads, which was Soarve's pick this time. We're watching this from his perspective. So on the left side, we have a sword dojo, in the center, a workshop, and on the right side, a farmhouse. So I expect both players to go toward the sword dojo. One interesting thing about this map is that the attacker is always on the side that Soarve starts here. So the defender, who's on the right side of the lobby, does have this hill in the back. So this means that you really have to think about picking this map, because the one who picks it is always the attacker. So it's a slight, I think you could say, disadvantage. Not because people tend to camp on this hill in the beginning. I wouldn't recommend doing so anyway, because in Shogun you always need to go for dojos. But it is something that is quite practical when it comes to like falling back with a flank or two, to just have that in your back as an option for retreat. And of course, this also slows down cavalry quite a bit if you're chasing up the hill. And I think cavalry play in general is quite difficult on Crossroads. I think this is a map quite suitable for bigger infantry-based armies. Lots of times people do play bows here. Already see 2 of them, but I will go over the armies in details now. So Soarve does bring, again, 6 cav units. I think he sticks to his guns here. I assume it's a combination of heavy light cav again, so 3 lights, 3 heavies, yes. Oh, but very differently leveled. So Yarikav rank 1, Yarikav rank 6, and Yarikav rank 9. Interesting, but no clan upgrade, so it's regular rank 9 cav. But I do wonder why like what's so special about it. It has the same same melee attack as the rank 6 cav. Oh, it has charge bonus upgrades. Interesting. It's not usually recommended to do it, but yeah, interesting. Now it has the same charge bonus as a great guard, basically. And defense-wise, on 7. Yeah, rank 6 cav is also on 7. Yeah, big investment here from Soarve. His general is still a leadership gen. And then he has a bulletproof rank 7 in the front. Nagisa and Banzai, again, like in the last battle. That seems to be a unit he quite likes. Nodachi rank 2, Katana Sam rank 7, interesting. Of course, lacks the Banzai ability. Another Banzai Nagisam, and a rank 2 Nodachi. So very similar core, again, compared to last game. And he has, again, vanilla Yari Ash and Matchlock Ash. So I guess what's missing here is the bow unit. I think that's the change of composition, and one more melee unit. So I think he identified that as a slight weakness last game. Interesting that he decides to opt against the bow on this map and takes the bow on Hida. Usually I would expect it to be the other way around. And yeah, let's go over Mishelka's build. I don't want to call this a noob box. But I don't see any cavalry yet. Maybe he has something hidden. That's always possible in this forest area here. But yeah, I'll just go over what I see. He has a leader gen now, so he switched back from melee to leadership. And yeah, okay, let's go over the skirmish. 2 matchlocks, 1 Ashigaru, 1 Samurai, both vanilla. Daikyu and Bow Warrior Monk, both 200 range. And then let's count the spears first. Long Yari and Yari. Long Yari on rank 5, so 2. Naginata Warrior Monks, rank 6, that's 3. 2 attendants, that's 5. 4 attendants, that's 6. Nagi Warrior Monk, rank 6, and then Nagi attendant. So that's 8 spears, that's the limit. And then sword-wise, he does have 4 lone swords with Banzai. And yeah, I mean, this is very, very difficult to crack open, of course. And there is actually one. I didn't see it because he uses this like an attendant. One light calf, which is pretending preventing Soarve from capping the sword dojo. So he has at least one calf unit, I guess. Yeah, but before I click play again, I just kind of thinking of what I would do here if I was encountering this build. I mean, you probably have to use this ridge line here, I would say, on this left. You're not going to be protected from bows up here if you use this passage, but you do get quite a decent protection from the 2 matchlocks, which are not going to be able to fire at you until you're very close and almost in the melee fight. Of course, this takes a bit of time if you were to reroute here, during which time the bows are going to be firing at you. So it's not without risk doing it, but I think it's still a better option than going straight through the center. Especially since, I mean, the Yari Ash vanilla shouldn't scare you too much, but this long Yari Ash, that could be very nasty, I think. But the bigger problem for Soarve is what's he going to do with his calf? And I think it's all going to come down to how he's going to utilize it, but he will have to do a lot of baiting, fake charging, just to harass these skirmish units while timing it optimally for his melee core to arrive, because he can't really afford to take too much damage before the main engagement starts, because even in the main melee engagement, he is at a disadvantage because of all the money that Mishelka has put into his infantry. And also, I think, given how immobile Mishelka is, wait and get these dojos, get the workshop, get the farmhouse, and just keep a distance until you got those 2 dojos. Workshop, it makes your units much more sturdy, especially against the bows, which comes into factor here. And the farmhouse means that your units don't get tired as much, which is also going to be quite relevant, I think. But Soarve ignores it. I don't know why. Maybe he feels he's under time pressure because of the bows. But I think, at least with his light calves, he could capture these 2 dojos for free. Okay, let's see what he's actually doing. Tries to get cheeky, go for a cheeky breakthrough on the flanks, hoping to maybe catch a couple of the Daikyus. Also somewhat in the matchlocks, but I think they're not going to be stopped from firing. Let's have a look. I should expect... Oh, okay. I don't think they fired, but they're not going to rout, so they can... this is kind of the strength of the hill. Now they can just reposition up here and shoot over the heads of their um, um, of their allied units, which is a big problem, I think. But yeah, Soarve, I think, just decides here to engage frontally, try to pin him down to negate the effect of the skirmishers. And I mean, this is sometimes this is actually how you break a nuke box. Because if you just focus on one side, then you have a bunch of units sitting idly around, really not contributing, but they also can't really help and reinforce the side that's being attacked, because once you do that, then you create an opening for the cav that is waiting and ready to pounce. But for that to be the case, I think Soarve's cav needs to actually like surround Mishelka here. Just that in the very same second where Mishelka narrows his circle, that Soarve can use the opportunity to squeeze through. So he just needs to be in position. The cav doesn't need to be in combat yet, but he needs to be ready for it. So let's have a look at the actual fight. I mean, I think this engagement alone could break Soarve's neck, because it's a long Yari-Ash engaged frontally with the support of stand and fight. And I mean, now that he's in stand and fight, he can't do it, but there's also an opportunity to just use Inspire on the long Yari-Ash, making it even more powerful. So I think this unit will get a lot of kills. And then here we have Lone Swords. It says they're losing, but they're gonna win eventually against these Nodachi. Nice cav charge. Yari cav against Lone Swords. They were unprotected. I mean, these are the openings that you're kind of looking for when you're Soarve. And now I think this cav needs to charge the back of these Nagi attendants so that these Nagi Sams can follow through. I mean, this is basically the most important opening right now. Bow Warrior Monks, Matchlocks, Lone Swords. No spear protection. This is the area where the most pressure needs to be applied now. And that's actually, I think, a big chance for Soarve. But in the meantime, these bow units tend to, or do rack up a lot of kills. And I think, again, just like in the last battle, Soarve's avatar goes into stand and fight rather late. So Mishelka was in stand and fight much earlier, boosting the initial engagement of his troops. And Soarve is also going to lose his gen here because his gen he's quite open. I think if he puts his general in stand and fight over here, he's going to be surviving for a lot longer, even against bows. So now his gen has died, which could cause a mass rout here. We have Nagisams. I don't know if they used Banzai already, but they're gonna use it or gonna need it soon. And infantry-wise, he's down to his last line of bulletproof Nagisams. And whereas Mishelka still has the backup of 2 full Naginata Warrior Monks on rank 6. And again, I think this is why you kind of need to circle around your opponent with all your cav and be a threat from as many angles as possible. Because now here's an opening. Like, this is such a perfect opening. General, Matchlock, Daikyu, Borari Monk, Matchlock. But no cav to run through here. Instead, we have he has a Yari cav that's being shot at by Matchlock Ash. Here he has 2 cav units no, 3 cav units that he's now running into Nagi attendants, probably in an act of desperation because he thinks it's over. But from the battlefield. Just because they weren't here at the opportune time, I think he couldn't really make as much use of his cavalry as was theoretically possible, because I mean, Mishelka would be in such huge trouble here if some of these gaps were properly exposed. And yeah, I think this is it now, and we can just go back to regular speed. I mean, the game was technically over in the moment the general died. But I think a lot of decisions could have been made earlier to turn the tide of the battle from Soarve's perspective. And I think the most important ones were the ones I mentioned.
Glorious victory will soon be yours.
Imagine also Workshop now. His front line would have been so much more resistant, resilient. I think this was, I mean, this is a super intimidating, like this huge ball of infantry. And sometimes you just have bad luck and you don't have the right composition to break down a loot box. That just happens. But I think in this case, there was a somewhat realistic chance for Soarve to win. But I think it was also smart by Mishelka. I mean, I think he probably knew he was going to have the hill in the back. He was going to be the defender, and he just went for the super conservative build. And yeah, he just made fewer mistakes. I think some of these gaps could have been prevented with a bit more foresight and planning, but since Soarve didn't exploit those gaps, it didn't matter in the end. Lone Sword's performing quite well for Mishelka. Unsurprising, since they were like the last infantry units to connect in the main fight. I think most of the initial charges were absorbed by the Yari Ashigaru. Let's have a look at the Long Yari, 77 kills. I expected it to be more. I think this is actually underperforming. I don't know why. Maybe they fought against Nagi-Sams, who are probably a bit better than Nodachi against Long Yari because of the weapon type they have, but yeah. Nagi Warrior Monks didn't have to do much. They were quite, didn't really lose much either. And yeah, I mean, this was all down to the overall tactical approach, less so the army composition of Soarve, I think, which was okay for this type of map. But either way, this makes it 2-0 in favor of Mishelka, who moves to round 3, and Soarve moves down to the lower bracket, so we might see some more battles from him. And yeah, I'll probably keep casting a couple more games from round 1 and 1-2, and then as well also start with the Fall of the Samurai battles, where the tournament also started today. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.